Coach, I guess how would you kind of assess the way y'all played today? I know you split. You obviously would have liked both games, but in that first game, you guys kind of came back. You were able to rally there.
Yeah, it seems like a minute ago for sure. The first game does. Really thought, the guys that pitched in the first game were competitive and played good defense behind them. And second game, thought their guy, the little left-hander, was really good especially on that side of the plate. Thought he was really good over there, which would be glove side, I guess. And, thought he mixed really well. And I thought Baylor swung the bat good when they needed to there in that second game.
Coach, what did you think about the team coming out yesterday and kind of firing away and then having to turn right back around and play a doubleheader today? How do you think that they responded?
Yeah. I mean, it was, I think we said that yesterday, it was a very quick turnaround from last night to this morning. And but we've got a bunch of guys that are here awful early, even when we play at 2, and they get in there and get to work, and never had a doubt they'd be ready to go, when the bell rang today.
Can you kind of speak to the at-bats that y'all had in that first game where they tied it up and you were able to get some full counts there?
Yeah.
You had some walks with the bases loaded. Just can you speak to how maybe that's a little bit of a either confidence boost or just a show of how these guys are developing into these type of batters that you're looking for?
Yeah, now that you say that, they did tie the game, didn't they? It was, 6-1, and they tied it?
6-6.
And we came in and scored 4. And I mean, off the top of my head, again, I know there's some big at-bats in there, and the guys did a good job, obviously just continuing to play and go pitch to pitch and not necessarily chase, hits and results. And so, yeah, proud of them for that.
Hester today was really consistent at bat today. How does he fit into the team, and just how does he fit, in Lubbock this year?
I don't know about Lubbock. It's been a lot of fun watching him hit leadoff. It really has. It's kind of an old school approach. He takes a lot of pitches, when it's the right time to take pitches. Seems like he also has a feel for when to go up there and be aggressive. But if you 30 years ago, if you hit leadoff, you took a strike. And you earn pitches for those guys behind you, and you kind of set the tone. And Ricky Henderson kind of had that, even though Ricky had serious power, and he's in the Hall of Fame, and he can steal all those bases. But everybody knew what Ricky was doing, and then every now and then he'd walk up there and swing an 0-0 pitch. And Hester's really, I think, a guy that has worked really hard at his craft and worked really hard at learning the strike zone. And most of the time when he comes back and he says, "Hey, that's off," I pretty much believe him. And again, but it's as far as how he fits in Lubbock, I think the team loves him. He's a good teammate, but it's been a lot of fun watching him. I mean, we've had some leadoff hitters that are really good at what they do, but I don't know that we've had one that goes up there with the plan he has, and it's been fun to watch.
Coach, talk about your defense, but specifically the pitchers.
Defense and specifically the pitchers?
Yes.
Well, let's see. I mean, obviously, Parrish gave us 5. Molina gave us 7 last night. Those guys did their job for the most part. And, I can't expect Free and Beckel to be great every time, but I think they competed through their outings today. The second game, thought Kyle Robinson threw the ball really good. Coombs threw the ball good. You'd like to see Rogers be able to give you a little more length there, especially on a day when the wind's blowing in like it was today from left. I mean, if he could command the ball arm side, it's going to be tough to hit him. I mean, if the ball's down the way, just hitting it into the wind, and it's kind of one of those days. And as far as defensively, I thought we turned a really nice double play in that second game. We gave up a number of free 90s in the second game. I think one on a hit to center maybe, which was a tough play. And it was also like maybe the go-ahead run But I think we gave away 4, just pitcher to catcher. And yeah, that's something you can't do. I mean, that's something that, it's definitely something that you got to have presence, with arm and all that.
DC kind of mentioned at the end that, you guys might have been missing a guy like Wool today. Just how important is he to being in that lineup?
Yeah, we mentioned it. I mean, it's against a left-hander or even against a right-hander. Again, I just acknowledge that, how good a teammate, he is. Just because going into the weekend, you thinking he's going to be in there. It's a 2-day weekend, first of all, and both days are really tough days to play center right, and really just thought the value of having Dylan out there was too much, to not stick him out there and give him some at-bats. Because to win at a high level, you need to play center at a high level, and you need to play in the middle of the diamond at a high level, and you need to play defense at a high level. And so kind of squeeze Vu out of there, and that's hard. I mean, when a guy got 3 hits just the other day and been swinging the bat really good, but he's going to get back in there. And ultimately, you want everybody to be able to do what he does. Take a day, maybe take a couple days, and then when you plug them in, impact the game. And but again, I think just the win, we pretty much decided to go with Carter. And obviously, Gage has been hitting in the middle of the order, 2nd or 3rd, and so what are you going to do? You gotta find somewhere. So. But he's a great teammate. He's done a good job here over the last 2-3 weeks. Swung the bat really good and has had plate coverage, and it seemed like the more we played him, the better he got.
Kind of on that point, Coach, of plugging in and impacting a game, it's kind of built into the position as far as catchers. Dylan Maxey, 3 extra base hits, 6 RBIs in that first game. I mean, a guy that's not out there every day. What can you say about a freshman coming in and doing that?
Yeah, he's competing. I mean, Dylan from day one has wanted to be the catcher, and he's competed and thrown the ball really well. He's caught the ball really well. He's prepared really well, and he's playing really good right now. I mean, his at bats, like you said in the first game, was really good. And again, I think that's something that says a lot about him. I mean, it's not easy. I mean, all these guys. What we're talking about is all these guys have been the guy, especially when they're freshmen, and to understand, hey, I got to be ready when my name's in there. It's saying a lot, and it's keeping them both fresh too. I mean, it is keeping. We've caught Braxton every day, and it takes a little bit different animal. I mean, even in the big leagues right now, those guys are catching. The guys that play every day, it's 110, 115 games. Not many guys are doing like Benji Molina and catching 150. I guess that's how many he caught. I imagine if he said, "Hey, I'm playing," they let him play. But no, he's there's a good competition back there. I think it's it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch guys compete. And, really proud of the way Maxie's shown up.
A similar question. Dylan Carter hadn't had a live at bat in Big 12 play, and now comes back in, and I mean, he had 3 doubles and 3 walks today across these 2 games.
Yeah.
I mean, you've talked about the teammate, the leader, the preparation, but to walk right back in after the injury and kind of pick up where he left off.
Yeah, baseball. I mean, if you can simplify it, sometimes it's simple, and sometimes when you've been out, you do simplify it, and you basically, to me, that's what Dylan was doing, and it's awful comforting to have him run around out there in center field and just kind of knowing he knows how to go about it. And that's not taking anything away from Gage either. Gage played a great center field, and but yeah, as far as that bats go, I think 2-3 days in a row now has really done him some good. And key now is just keep it being simple for sure, and not make more out of it than it is. And yeah, he had a big swing there, I know, in the first game, all down the line.
We have time for maybe 1 or 2 left.
Coach,
Go ahead.
Coach, I know you all have been at home so far. You start a road trip next week in Abilene, and then obviously going on the road for Big 12. I guess what's the message for you going to your team after Still winning the series, obviously, would have liked to sweep it, but just kind of winning the series and take momentum going into next week.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's. I don't know that I would tell y'all what the message is to them because I don't know what it is right now, other than just show up, keep working every day, and keep getting better. And teams that play good at the end continue to improve through the year, and that really comes down to individuals deciding, hey, I'm gonna keep, trying to work at it, keep getting better, and get better at their craft. And I think there's things we can do as far as within the game and stuff like that. But I think that'd be the simplest thing. But I mean, today is as far as in there, I didn't have a whole lot like what you're asking, other than it's not really what you're shooting for when the day started.
And then so you can close.
Cold?
Oh, yeah, chilly.
Yeah. Dylan Carter, starting off with you. Obviously, getting back in the lineup during this series. Can you just walk us through what you had to fight through physically, mentally, to kind of get back to here, and what it meant for you to be able to be back on this field?
I mean, just getting back from the injury was the biggest thing. Just making sure the pain level was tolerant. And I got to that point a little earlier than expected and was blessed to be back out here.
What's it like having him back in the lineup, too, and just having him back around you guys as a team?
It's really fun. I mean, he's a good teammate even when he's hurt, not playing, whatever he's doing. But it's definitely a confidence boost because it's another big bat in the lineup, and then it's almost like an automatic out in center field. Like, you have so much confidence, especially behind your pitchers, and you just have a lot of confidence overall in the outfield, especially with him out there again.
So coming out yesterday, just kind of guns blazing, how did that kind of set y'all up for the doubleheader today?
I guess it was a lot better in the first game. Second game it's never good when your pitchers give you every opportunity in the world to stay in the game and the bats are cold. It's usually not the way it is when we're at home, but it just happened so in the second game, and it's not fun, but definitely winning the first two is always good. It's not fun losing the third.
Dylan, in that first game, Maxie, with that first game, you guys had 3 at-bats where you got the full counts, had the walks, and then obviously your double. I guess just how important was it for y'all just to kind of really lock in there and just kind of show that y'all can have those professional at-bats?
It was super important because those guys are good pitchers. It's Big 12 pitching, and we prove day in and day out that we can get in counts and work at bats and not only have those counts but have something productive come out of them. And it's always a good sign going towards the future, and especially as a hitter in the lineup, in this lineup, it's always hand over to the next bat. You always want to put it in the next person's hands with something they can do to make the game better.
No, I know everyone always talks about your all's offense, but just how important was it for y'all to get those clutch hits, especially that response after they tied it up there?
I'd say it was very important because, I mean, especially for our pitchers, giving them some confidence on the mound, not having to throw with, their hands tied. They have a little margin for error, and Tad always talks about giving each of your teammates margin for error, and I feel like those clutch hits is all we're doing for the team.
I guess for both of y'all, what's the message? I know obviously you won the series, obviously you would have liked to sweep it, but just what's the message going into next week now?
I mean, just stay with us, I guess. Y'all see it. A bunch of the guys in the lineup are new. I think we talk about it every week from last year at least. And it's super talented. Tad talked about it in our post game that it's hard to take Vu out of the lineup, especially the way he was swinging it. And it's just it's kind of a pat on his back, honestly, with the talent that he brings to the team, the kind of guy he is, and just everything. Everybody that comes to the plate or comes on the mound is super talented, and it's going to be fun to watch.
Corey, you just spoke about the defense and the pitchers. How do you think that the defense kind of helped Baylor to win the series?
I think we played clean baseball in the first two. The third one, I think I was victim of an error somewhere in there. But, the errors kind of start rallies for the other team, and the cleaner you play, it should be the better it is, and that's how the first two went.
Again, taking 2 games out of this series, but going forward with how tight the Big 12 kind of seems to be, is that something that's on your guys' mind? And I guess how you maybe putting that on the back burners, we're at the end of April going on May.
I mean, I'll start this, but, I mean, you just kind of take it day by day, pitch by pitch. If we get ahead of ourselves, you never know. We'll go to Manhattan and lay an egg, and that's the last thing we need to do going into the last, 3 weeks of the conference. So it's just every day just trying to get that little bit better. I don't know, you got anything on that?
Same thing. I mean, we got to win each day. We can't look ahead, try to win the Big 12 tomorrow or next weekend. We got to win 1 game each day, and as long as we win each day, then everything will work out itself.
Anything else for these two before we go cool?
I know obviously you guys were at home. Obviously you go on the road starting with Evelyn Christian. Shoot.
Aggressive.
Yeah. I know go on the road with Abilene Christian, all that. I guess just what's the difference going from home to away games, and I guess what do you feel you'll have to do to just kind of either bounce back, if that's the term, or just kind of get right, if you will.
I mean, I think right now we're in a good spot. It's just we need to come out not flat. I think the second game we thought we had it because we put up 14 runs a game, and I think we just thought it was going to do it on its own. And as long as we go into every day knowing nothing's easy, and we got to earn every pitch, we got to earn every run, we got to earn every out. I think no matter where we are, we can beat anybody.
Yeah, I mean, just take this confidence and roll over with it. I think if we can win 4 games next week, it'll put us in a good spot to win 4 games the next week, or 3 games, however many it is. Just definitely not trying to overlook any opponent, because Abilene Christian's a really solid program. I think they're top in the country defensively, and it'll be fun. And they play really good baseball at home, so that'll be a fun game to watch.
All right, thank you, Phyllis.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, guys.
Yes, sir.